Race Day Nation. We've been waiting a long time to make this finally happen.
Yeah.
Going live, and I'm going to bring up some stuff here that you can talk and interact with us here on the show for the first time, which is going to be great because now you have a chance to make some questions, bring some points up if you like about a race that you may have watched. But today, let's start with what today is all about, and I'm going to hand it over to my co-host, Michele Rahal, for that. Michele, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. You know, we often confuse in this day and age some of these holidays that we have or these celebrations. This is not so much a celebration. This is Memorial Day. And what that really means is we're honoring those veterans, those people that died for this country. Over 1 million people gave their lives so that we could live in freedom, absolute freedom. And I hope that people really grasp what that means. We have a day for veterans. That's a Veterans Day, obviously, but Memorial Day, it's for those who have fallen to keep us free. And I pray to God that we remain that way. It's a beautiful day here in Florida where I'm broadcasting from. And I sincerely hope everyone's enjoying it with the barbecues, with the food, with the eating. Stop and say a little bit of a prayer for those that have fallen for us. And that's what Memorial Day really is.
That's right. And, we couldn't do what we do today,
No.
not just today, but every single day in this country without those men and women who've made the ultimate sacrifice. And that's exactly what today is about. So honor and remember, as we always say. And this is another special day in racing as well, because it has the Monaco GP in F1, which is a huge race. We'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah.
The Indy 500, where I got to tell you, the crowd looked amazing. It's back to the old Indy. I mean, I really am impressed with what's going on with the IndyCar series right now, and especially the Indy 500. And then right now, we're kind of in a pre-race of the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte in the world of NASCAR. So let's kick it off and get started in Monaco like the day kicked off today. First of all, please don't forget to follow us on YouTube. You can do that. And subscribe and hit the little bell there so you can get all the notifications. You can follow us on, that's right, Michele's got the sound effects down today. We also are on Twitter at Race Day Nation, Instagram at Race Day Nation, Facebook at Race Day Nation. So now that we're live, you can interact with us. I actually have the chat pulled up here that we can see people live chatting with us. So if you have a comment that you would like to make, please do so. You can put it in there and we'll talk about it here on the show.
Maybe. Depends on what they're commenting on.
You two suck. All right. I might bring that up, actually.
No, we've sucked for 15 years. So.
That's right. But all good. So don't forget, check us out, racdaynation.com. You can also follow me at Rob D'Amico. It's ROBDAMICO. And Michele, where can they follow you, my man?
It is Michele Rahal. That's MICHELE Rahal, RAHAL. That's on Facebook. And on Instagram, it's at Michele Rahal, MICHELE RAHAL. And the weird number 9. Still haven't figured that one out. Got to get Elon Musk and his dream team of lawyers to figure this one out. I would rather it have just been what the hell? Life's life.
That's right. It happens. You move on, and everybody's still interacting with you, which is great. They don't hate you because of the number 9.
Yeah, they do. I hate odd numbers.
Well, that's between you and the number 9.
Yeah.
And the 3 and 7.
Throw a 6 in front of it. I'm a happy man.
Yeah, exactly. Aren't we all?
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's start off Monaco. A little weather in the beginning, which I thought was bizarre because this is F1. We don't have those problems in F1. And here we are, new race control. I guess this was their second rain with this race control. It just didn't work out. It was like, I also give props to the commentators in F1 because these guys were like,
well, they called them out.
Yeah, what the hell's going on here? Let's
I mean, they
race.
thought Mossy did a bad job, and I'm sitting there looking at this going, you got to be kidding me. I mean, how many races? It's Formula One. They race
Right.
in the rain. They do standing starts in the rain. They could have run this race, they delayed it an hour, and they could have started it right away. They didn't. But then again, the complexion of that race changed so many times. I thought it was a brilliant race, actually. I did. And I predicted it only because the weather people predicted it. But the little piece I did earlier in the week, I said, just watch this. This is going to be quite the crash fest or a master class. It was both. It was absolutely both. I mean,
You
to keep
heard
a
it here.
Formula One on track in the rain, your first experience driving a car in the rain was the first time you ever drove a race car.
That's right.
It was with me as well.
Yeah.
And that is an eye opener. It really is an eye opener, but it's also an equalizer. My car was much lighter than the one you drove. You were driving a Mustang, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
And that had to be a handful in the rain, brother.
It
really
was
did.
tough. And I was scared to death. And, when you're racing a car like that and you don't have the money to pay for crash damage, right? You get really nervous in a car, and that's not the way you want to be out there racing. That's what sucked. I will say this: when they were racing and getting everything ready, teams are trying to make the prediction. Okay, is it going to be intermediates? Are we going full wets? I think we're going to have all those tire trolleys were running up and down pit lane the whole time. That was
the deal is, though, if they start the race under the safety car, if it's going to be a rolling start in the rain, if they deem it wet enough, everybody has to start on full wets. They can't start on intermediates. It's got to be full wets. And that's the way they started, full wets. And changing the tires. I mean, that whole thing was a super strategy, which backfired big time on Ferrari.
Oh, Ferrari received a giant kick in the balls at Monaco. That's exactly what happened to, and especially Leclerc. This guy goes into his home race. He's on the pole. He's leading, and they do this whole pit strategy. And it's like, sorry, bud, you're not even on the podium now. Damn.
I know. And Red Bull is just going, thank you, God. Thank you. We really appreciate this. And Perez, I mean, I'm really happy they didn't throw some team order at Checo to let Verstappen by.
Yeah.
I mean, Verstappen, they knew they were sitting there calculating it, and they want to keep Perez. That was very obvious. Horner actually came out and said, all he's got to do to keep that seat is keep doing what he's doing. Yeah. And he's done a brilliant job, I think. And I think everybody was shocked that Checo was the measure of Red Bull for the weekend, for the entire weekend. Verstappen just couldn't seem to come to grips, no pun intended, with that car, even though I think he drove a brilliant race. They all did, but they managed to undercut Ferrari.
Yeah, what's neat in this aspect, that the second drivers on the teams were the guys in front of the main drivers on the number one drivers. So it was a big game changer this weekend at Monaco. That was pretty cool. Did you happen to see Mick Schumacher's crash?
I was just about to say that. Split it in half. Gosh. And he walks away. But, the cars are designed to do that. That's exactly what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to break away, split in half, and keep the cockpit intact. That whole entire cockpit area is supposed to remain intact. Then the engine and the heavy stuff is supposed to move away from the car. That's what it did. Schumacher managed to walk away from that and ponder that he was only 10 centimeters off, but he apparently hit a tiny puddle. And at those speeds, at those speeds and that much horsepower, that's all it takes, especially at Monaco, as narrow as that track is and as slick as it must have been. 1,000 horsepower car that weighs maybe 1,400 pounds, somewhere in that neighborhood, there's no way that you can do anything but really bring your driving skills to bear to keep that car on the track and not in that wall, because those walls are right there.
Oh, it's a very difficult track. No doubt about that. Hey, and after that red flag for Mick Schumacher's crash, The guys came out of the pits. Obviously, it was staggered. You had Perez, Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc, and they Red Bull guys were actually on the medium tires, and this is another strategy. And the Ferraris were on the hard tires, thinking, okay, we can get to the end of the race with these tires and have something there at the end for us to really compete and get back in the game for these guys at Ferrari. And they were gaining. It just didn't work out the way they wanted it to. And unfortunately, Leclerc sits outside the top three and didn't even get the podium for his.
Well, he got called into the pits twice. They made a mistake.
Yeah.
You know, Matteo Binotto was, you know, the only thing he could do was protest Red Bull, claiming they ran over the yellow lines on pit exit. It's a big no-no, but, you know, race control said, no big deal. You know, they really didn't infringe anything. They noted it. You know, there was no reprimand, no nothing. There was nothing Ferrari could do. I would imagine that whoever the race strategist was that called that is in deep crap right now.
he had to take a separate plane home.
Pasta, baby. He's eating you know what.
That's right. He was left behind by the crew on purpose. You might want to
exactly. He's walking back wherever he came from. I mean, can you imagine? Seriously, can you imagine making a call like that? You're in the lead. You could take the world championship. You could lead the world championship by winning. Leclerc was absolutely screaming mad on the radio, mad at the team, mad at the strategy, mad at everybody. And who can blame the guy? He knows Verstappen very, very well. They've raced each other since they were 8 years old. He knew what was about to happen, and there was nothing he could do about it. But that's Formula One. It's a chess match. And they were playing against not only each other, but they were playing against the track and the weather. Yeah. And everybody's trying to, and then they end up with a blank spot on all their radar screens where they can't see when it is. Somehow that happened. And so for 15 minutes or so, they're all blind. They don't have a clue. Is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? Is the mountain going to shove some rain our way? It was beautiful. That's all I can say. It was a beautiful race. I would love to see Ferrari. I love to see Ferrari back where Ferrari is. But I have to tell you, I really like Verstappen. I really like his style. He reminds me of Gilles Villeneuve. He reminds me of Alonso. The guy did a brilliant job. But Checo, Perez, all congratulations to him. He got his win. Yeah. I think that he's the first Mexican to win Monaco. Am I mistaken in that? I think
that's right. He is. Yeah, the first Mexican to win Monaco. He's his third career win, bringing him to the winningest Mexican in the series. Congratulations to him. And I think this was the first time a Mexican won in Monaco. So that's pretty cool for these guys, and amazing. So let me bring up the results here. We could talk about it. We see Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc not on the podium. George Russell sitting there in fifth. Lando Norris sixth. Fernando Alonso, great race for him, ends up seventh. Lewis Hamilton back there in eighth. Valtteri Bottas in ninth, and Sebastian Vettel getting some points, much needed points, by the way, for Aston Martin.
I don't expect him to stay with Aston.
No.
Not unless Stroll does something, either relinquishes power to the team principal, really lets him do what he needs to do, or takes himself out of the picture somehow. You know, I know that I believe Audi was making an attempt to buy them, or has made some suggestions, some forward queries into whether or not they could take that team as a factory team themselves. I don't know whether Stroll would sell it or not, because that would absolutely mean that his son Lance would be out of a ride.
Yeah, I don't. Well, money does talk, right? So you never say never.
Does it? It does. It's Formula One. The other interesting thing is Ferrari has actually admitted that they and the top teams will not be able to do the season and meet that budget cap, that they're going to have to they won't be able to update the cars at a certain point. And that's going to bring the midfield teams further up towards them. That'll be very interesting to see, because I don't see Formula One or the FIA relinquishing or adding to that budget so that they can, keep updating those front running cars.
Yeah.
And the midfield teams have done well with what they've had, and they're allowed to update. And once you hit that budget cap, that's it, baby. You can't do any more updating. So
we know
Ferrari,
those smaller teams aren't getting near that cap.
No, they're remaining, below the budget cap. Yeah. They've got it planned out pretty well. Gunther Steiner's got to be over the moon about that. What he's not over the moon about is Mick Schumacher crashing. Yeah. It's not that the kid doesn't have talent. He does. But did he get tossed into the deep end too soon? There are about 6 drivers that have. And frankly, Latifi needs to hang up the helmet here and step aside. I think Piastra is the one that needs to take that Williams seat. And I think Williams will develop that car over the season, but Latifi needs to go. I mean, I hate to say that. He's a nice guy, but he's not performing. He's crashing all the time. Yeah. Too many red flags. You can just about count on Latifi affecting the outcome of virtually every race.
Yeah. So did you get to watch the post-race interview with Perez when David Coulthard came up to him and said, "Oh man, you got to be one of the most popular guys in Mexico right now, and maybe you should run for president." I thought, what a great question for the guy, but he looked totally like I don't really want to answer that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is Mexico. I might want to stay out of that one.
Completely stay out of it. Mexican politics, no thank you. Our politics are bad enough.
That's right.
To get yourself in the middle of Mexican politics. No, thank you.
Well, congratulations.
No, I didn't get to see that interview. I was actually in church. So I was making myself right with the Lord.
Well, I hope you drank a gallon of holy water.
I did a gallon of that wine.
They walk up, you put your little hand in there, Rahal walks up.
No, my hand was in the tithing plate. Ooh, there's a hamburger. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger.
Yeah, exactly. Today. All right, congratulations again goes to Sergio Perez and the Red Bull team for getting 1 and 3 on the podium, and then obviously Carlos Sainz with the second place for Ferrari. And unfortunately, Leclerc sent home mad as hell. And I don't blame him for being mad.
Me neither. Did you see the picture of Sainz? Sainz is absolutely pissed off too. Yeah. Because he believes Latifi and Schumacher cost him the win.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks. Well, hey, at least Sainz got where he got and he didn't crash out, because Sainz is another one. Ricardo, I don't think Ricardo's going to make it, man. Whatever he had, he's questioning himself in public.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you want to do. I mean, Zach Brown brought up the mechanisms for escaping that contract and replacing him. He actually brought that up on his way out of Indy, and Ricardo Daniel actually put up that I'm feeling that I can't come to grips with this car, and I'm not doing as well as I should, and I'm losing a little confidence. Yeah. It's the last thing you want to say in public. Absolutely. What a nice guy, but don't ever say that,
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy because this is a guy that I thought, he's going to make some changes. He's going to be put in a car. Yeah. Granted, he was with Red Bull at the time. Red Bull wasn't what they are today, but he was going with McLaren, and McLaren was a team that I know that he can make things happen. And he came in as the number 1 driver. And now Lando is doing a much better job and handling the position much better than Daniel is. And unfortunately, I have a feeling that maybe he doesn't end up in that seat and has to go to a smaller team.
He's not. That seat is going to go to Pato O'Ward, I believe.
So I was going to bring that up because we're getting ready to switch gears over to Indy 500. and they had Pato O'Ward in the lead for a little bit, and they thought,
Yep.
oh, this looks good. Could we have a Mexican for the first time win the
I
Indy
kept thinking
500?
the same thing.
Yeah.
I kept thinking dos
Exactly.
Mexico.
I'll have to go run out and get some Dos Equis.
Yeah, you can do that. No,
Yeah, I got you.
no more from me.
Yeah, you got the holy water.
That's right.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here and hear from our sponsor, the Big Green Egg Ultimate Cooking Experience. You can go to their website, biggreenegg.com, order online, and have it home delivered for free, which is awesome. But you can check them out at biggreenegg.com. For Michele Rahal, stick around. This is only a 15-second spot. We'll be back on the other side to talk about the Indy 500. For Michele Rahal, I'm Rob D'Amico. This is Race Day Nation. Place where fire and flavor are celebrated. Grill it, roast it, smoke it, or bake it. It's the most versatile grill you'll ever own. Have it delivered to your door by a certified dealer in your community and start enjoying the ultimate cooking experience. Visit biggreenegg.com. And don't forget, you can check those guys out online, biggreenegg.com. And for home delivery for free, you can order it right there. They got egg packages, all that great stuff. So check them out.
How about send me one for free and home delivery for free?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up. I couldn't hear you.
There's nothing better. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I've cooked on a Big Green Egg for probably 12 years. And if you want a steak that is Morton's level, Ruth Burn Steakhouse in Tampa level, that's what you want to cook it on, or a Tuscan steak, or any of the other, types of things. I mean, Montoya is totally taken with the Big Green Egg. He actually goes to Italy to get, his briskets?
Yeah,
so that
he gets them ordered.
Take it back to Spain so he can cook it on the Big Green Egg. It's hilarious.
He's a giant egghead, man. He loves it. If you missed that episode, you can find it on our YouTube channel, or just go to racedaynation.com. You can find everything right there. Great stuff there. Okay, switching gears, going to the Indy 500 today. Obviously, a big day of racing. We already recapped the Monaco GP. So now we're moving forward into the day. You're about midday right now, and sun is out. It's a great day for racing, and the Indy 500 starts. And they get it going, which at first, Scott Dixon on the pole. Congratulations to him. The old guy gets it done.
He looked unbeatable for a while.
He did.
Well,
again, really bad luck constantly follows that poor guy. I mean, when it comes to the Indy 500, this guy, he's been in the lead so many times that he should be 6-7 deep with those Indy 500s, but he's not.
It's no worse than Mario Andretti. Remember?
Yeah.
When a $2 part cost him his second win. It's like, and it happens. It really does. I mean, that's the whole thing. I've said it before. All's fair in love, war, and racing, and anything can happen in love, war, and racing. I mean, it absolutely can. You hang in there, you keep fighting, you pick, if you feel like you're behind, just keep pushing, digging, because you never know what's going to happen in front of you. I saw Paul Dallenbach was in front of me, and boom, he crashes, loses all his wheels, and he's a friend of mine too. He's a great guy. Love the guy. But he loses all his wheels, and I'm heading right at him. He's looking right at me. I knew he'd be gone by the time I got there, but you know what? That was my first professional race, and I finished fourth. And it's all because you got to just hang in there. It's like the Navy SEALs, man. You never quit the fight. You never quit the fight.
That's right. So the Indy 500 gets underway. Dixon drops back a little bit, but then he's back in the lead pretty quick. I'm just going through my quick notes that I wrote down. The lap 39, first crash of the day, Rinus VeeKay hit the wall in turn 2 pretty hard, man. I mean, that was a pretty hard, and right in front of Dixon. I thought, Dixon's getting caught up in this one. But no, single car crash, and all the crashes today, single cars, which I thought
Johnson was the one that I sat there and went, oh God, here it comes.
Yeah.
Because he went nose first into that wall. And that's just a testament to the strength of that Dallara chassis. I mean, hats off to Dallara. I mean, that's who builds Haas Formula One chassis. So I was really glad to see that was just a nose cone. It could have been so much worse. Yeah. I was really worried for Johnson.
So they had Islet, which is another one who had a pretty hard crash. He actually
Yep.
did hurt his wrist a little bit.
Yep.
He's going to see what that's all about. Pelot at that point was caught on pit lane, which is another guy that I thought, man, he's been looking pretty strong out throughout the day.
Yep.
Grosjean got in that crash, unfortunately takes him out of the race.
What's new?
I know, man. I it's weird. I know the guy. Listen, the guy is very aggressive on the racetrack. This is
He's
guy
talented and he's aggressive, but he cost Alonso a world championship, another one. He went right over Alonso's head. All Alonso had to do was finish that particular race a number of years ago. He'd be a 3-time world champion, but Grosjean goes right over the top of him. I mean, it just, if Grosjean could just back off just a little bit and be a little bit more strategic, I think he would really, really be one of the really strong chargers. He really would be. But I don't see him changing. I haven't seen him change since F1.
Then you had Scott McLaughlin getting that crash, unfortunately for him, because this was his first Indy 500.
Yeah.
He's had a pretty good season so far. And I thought, oh, he's having, it wasn't really thrown out there until he started really passing some cars. And I noticed, man, this guy's pretty fast, working his way up there, and then had that incident take place.
Well, Penske knew what he was doing when he hired him, because he pulled him out of Australian supercars. And for him to be able to adapt to the Indy cars that quickly is a testament to his ability, and a testament to Roger Penske's faith in him. Yeah. So the Indy 500's the Indy 500. McLaughlin got to feel it, see it. The ovals, scary. Yeah. I mean, Indianapolis, you and I both know how big that track really is. Most people don't know there's a gigantic golf course in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And a museum. It's huge.
Oh, the museum's beautiful.
It's
and the golf course. Would we play off the golf course? We didn't play golf on the golf course. You and I were playing beer can champion or something.
That's right. Yeah, we were. My brother passes out on the hill.
On the hill, yeah.
With his fingers dug into the hill, he passes out. So he wouldn't roll down.
That's classic right there. That's a seasoned vet right there when he knows to put the claws in there and get it all set
on the side of the hill.
All right. So then we had Colton Herta. He gets parked for being too slow just after that crash on Friday, and the car was not the same. It was a backup car. It was the car that he won with the Indy GP. Unfortunately, he couldn't get anywhere. At that point, Scott Dixon gets busted for speeding and here's the penalty. He gets busted for speeding, has to do a drive-through, and that screws up his total opportunity today with Chip Ganassi Racing, Scott Dixon. But it was still, very impressive. I think it was with 4 to go is when everything got really interesting, because that's when Johnson.
Interesting.
Yeah, Johnson got into the wall, hard crash, like you mentioned, nose first, always dangerous. They were talking about it on television as well, how tough that is to take a crash like that. And that's why one of the things Jimmy was nervous about was that happening at an oval, because that's what he didn't come into the sport to work, to race the ovals. And now he does with the Indy 500. He's done some others, but they knew, hey, this is one of the risks that you run.
It is.
Yeah.
He acquitted himself very well. I mean, I'll say that anybody that's got the guts at his age to dive into an Indy car, which are very hard to drive, anybody that's got that kind of tenacity, he went through all the slings and arrows and the critics about his road racing, but at least he got it under his belt. He knew what it felt like, and he was familiar with the ovals and familiar with the strategies. So it was sad to see that happen, but, don't rule this guy out on the ovals from this point forward. But when it was 4 laps to go, it was O'Ward really attacking Ericsson. I thought, this is it. He's got him. But that Swede wasn't going to let it happen, man. He didn't. No. That's more emotion than I've seen out of a Swedish driver in my whole life. I mean, my old coach was Bertil Roos, and it was always they talk with their hands. Oh, yeah, they are so stupid. And it's very slow and methodical. But, Ericsson was crying, and wow, does he have a smoking hot girlfriend? That's all.
I kept getting texts. Hey, that girl's his girlfriend's pretty hot.
Well, yeah, there was no doubt about it. I mean,
she was wearing
I know the outfit she had on was it was pretty fetching. I mean,
yes,
to say
it
the
was.
least.
Yes. Yeah, I was getting some text about that, and I thought that was pretty interesting
It was
myself.
pretty similar to what you normally wear.
That's right. Without those beads. Yeah, I just get into my waist.
Yeah.
Can't get around my fat gut nowadays. Man, I've been working on this dad bod for a couple of years. You know, COVID's really been a thing.
I know what that's like.
I'm really good at it. Hey, speaking of that, we got our first comment here in the chat. I'm going to bring it up on screen and read it live here. Let's see here. It says from Cooks and Cars. Rob is so handsome, and Michele, well, he's there.
Kiss my ass.
Hey, I just wanted to put up a test one to see if it was working.
You bastard.
So if you are watching, know that you can post. We do have some people watching.
I fell right into that. I didn't notice it. You had Cooks and Cars there.
You were like, oh, hey, somebody made them.
I thought it might have been you know who.
No. All
It
good
was you.
here.
Okay.
But I will say, an ex F1 driver with Marcus Ericsson winning the race. It was pretty cool. Chip Ganassi, you saw Rob Kaufman there. Those two walking up, their co-owners in that race team. And, you know, just a spectacular moment. And, you know, that's a guy.
Chip's done a hell of a job.
Yeah.
He's done a hell of a job. He just turned, he's as fat as a dadgum hippo from Africa. Chip, lose some weight. You want to live longer? Get some of that weight off. You got two necks going back there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is unhealthy. Let's if you're talking health, you know, let's be healthy and because he has put on a ton of you can see it in his face. I mean, it's just he's put on a ton of weight and health wise.
I'm sure he's wearing a bro.
Yeah, yes, I may have to wear a bro here shortly. It's that bad. But
now,
again,
if he ever sees me, he's gonna kick my ass.
Well, it looks like we're not going to the Christmas party, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let me look at the IndyCar results here again. It was Marcus Ericsson with the win, Pato Award, which I thought would have been really cool if he could have pulled off the win and two Mexicans going back to back. Then we would be looking for tonight for Daniel Suarez to get the victory lane at Charlotte and have the three Mexicans. What a, you know, it could have made a new holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
Tony Kanaan, yeah, Tony Kanaan. That's exactly it. Tony Kanaan third. Congratulations to him. I thought it was a good run for him. Felix Rosenquist, Alexander Rossi, Connor Daly, the home guy, Elio Castroneves going for 5. Unfortunately, not his day. Simon Pagenaud in the top 10, finishing 8th. You didn't hear his name not once mentioned during the broadcast, which I thought was weird. And Alex Palou, 9th, and Santino Ferrucci, who was actually up front a little bit, battling it out, ended up rounding out the top 10 for these guys. So some great stuff there. And I thought it was a good race. It made it very interesting at the end to see how it went. I always am impressed. And I say this every time we're at Indy or any oval for that matter with the IndyCar guys. That crew, the medical crew that gets out there is on scene
fantastic.
In seconds, milliseconds of that car coming to a complete stop.
And
it's amazing.
A good friend of mine out of Savannah, Georgia, Ricky Timms, Dr. Rick Timms, he was part of that crew for the longest time. And they really take what they do very, very seriously. And, you know, shout out to Rick in Savannah, Georgia. Awesome job you did in the past. And did you notice how close the cars were and that snake train that they were all trying to break the draft?
Yes.
That was very cool.
I mean, even Ericsson on the last lap coming
around.
I
thought he was going to hit the pit wall.
That's what I thought. I'm like, is he paying attention here? Because you can see Pato Award actually coming out first. I was like, uh-oh. Yeah.
I thought it was a hell of a good finish. It was a great race. Nobody got hurt. That I'm glad for. Monaco was fantastic, I thought. You know, and I believe Azerbaijan is coming up next for Formula One. I don't know where Indy goes next.
They go to Detroit. They're going on Belle Isle. Yeah. This is the last year at Belle Isle, I believe. And then they go to the streets of Detroit. They're going to do a street race there. So that'll be
Cool.
pretty interesting. All right. So now we're going to switch gears, just like the rest of the day has gone. We've had 3 races, great Memorial Day. And don't forget, you can check us out at racedaynation.com. Follow us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell. We also have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Ding, ding. That's right. He's got the sound effects all built in here. And if you're if you're on watching right now, you can leave a comment. If not, you can leave a comment later when you do see this, and we'll bring it up on the next show. We plan on doing these things live again so we can get interaction with the fans, because that's what we love best, is talking to you guys about this stuff. That's what makes this pretty interesting. This is like a hobby for us, and we enjoy doing it. We watch the races. We love racing. It's in our blood. Can never get rid of it, right?
Never.
But here
it's
we
an
are.
addiction. It is. I do believe, I swear to you, that the Rahals developed a gene. My father started the Rahals racing in 1953, and somehow I think we were all genetically altered. There have been 8 Rahals that raced, 4
Wow.
professionals. And the others were the fathers, basically. Sean Rahal, he's one of, even though he spells his name slightly differently, he's our cousin. So honest to God, it's like a genetic mutation. I still, at my age, I wake up thinking about that, being in one of the cars and holding that wheel, and I go to sleep thinking about that, and women.
You must be a stud in your dreams, my man.
Oh man.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was the old days, brother. That was the old days. That was the old days.
All right. So at Charlotte, we got the Coca-Cola 600, the longest race. It was back in the day. These guys said, okay, how can we outdo the Indy 500?
I know.
We'll go Coca-Cola 600 miles. How about that? I think we're kind of past that now, right? The whole gimmick of it being the 600, miles, and
they could easily make it 500 and be just as interesting, because right now,
I agree.
We all know it's that last 50 laps that they're all setting up for.
Yeah.
That last 50 laps. In IndyCar, it's the last 10 laps they look for.
Yeah.
Or 20. But it truly is the last 50 laps that everybody's racing for. And to drive for 550 miles to set up for that last 50 miles is like, holy Moses. Yeah. Anybody can win this one. I mean, you've got a lot of first-time winners in the 600.
Yeah, because it's one of those things. It's not only a race. You're racing against equipment too. Sometimes you're racing against fatigue in the car. So there's some cool elements to it that make this, all right, maybe this is a cool thing to have at 600. There's a little endurance built in it. You're actually preparing it days before, eating your carbs, drinking water, taking nice sleep. And dreaming about hot women and being behind the wheel the next day.
See, that's me.
Oh, wait, sorry. That was Rahal's fantasies. But seriously,
pretty shallow, actually. I mean,
I think
I'm not a complicated man.
Yeah, I think we got past all this, 600 deal. I think if you went 500 or even 400, I don't even care. But it'll be a long race. It'll be about 4.5 hours probably tonight.
I just wonder how many screw ups with those center lock wheels we're going to see.
Yeah,
on pit road.
Because part of the problem is when the car heats up, those tires swell, and that's what's causing this problem. I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago. One of the guys Eric Jones was in the pits, and they had to literally cut the rim off the car to get the hub off, it's just ridiculous. Put them 7 laps down. Why even bother at that point, right?
Yeah, I think this should be not a difficult fix. It really shouldn't be a difficult fix. You've got Haas to help with this, because they know what the center locks are all about from Formula One. I remember ran a small racing team out of Charlotte, North Carolina, a road racing team, and Ed Zink, God rest his soul, what a beautiful man, what a wonderful man. We developed a special wheel gun, center lock wheel gun for Willie.
You're not going to believe this right now. What I was staring at is the cup race is on at the moment, and Daniel Suarez is leading right
Oh,
now.
there you go. Andale.
And that's not a racist thing, but
No, you're going to get hell for that.
no, it's not. It was just one of those things.
We're not
like,
politically correct, and that's
well,
just, if people can't laugh at themselves, I mean, I'll laugh at myself all the time. What's not to
I
laugh
laugh at you quite often.
I know you do. I mean,
but it was like
then
what I was
look at
saying
you
was a
blowing
Mexican
up.
celebration because of the 3 Mexicans that could have won today. That's what I was getting at.
I know what you were getting at.
Okay. I want to clarify just in case I don't need any politically correct police on my ass.
Oh, and who gives a crap? Let them
I know.
come. I mean, that cancel culture, they can go to hell.
Yeah. All right.
I
So
don't care
real
who
quick,
tries to cancel me.
real quick, Xfinity was there last night. The truck race, I'll be honest with you, it sucked. I didn't like it. The Xfinity race, Josh Berry put on a great race there with his teammate, Justin Allgaier, who ended up falling back to 7th, but it was Josh getting the win. Ty Gibbs is 2nd. Sam Mayer ended up 3rd. Noah Gragson was 4th. Ryan Preece was 5th. Daniel Hemrick, 6th. Justin Allgaier, as I said, 7th. Sheldon Creed, 8th. Trevor Bain was 9th. And Myatt Snyder rounded out the top 10. So what does that do for points now? Well, AJ Allmendinger is still your points leader with 530. Noah, Ty, Justin Allgaier, Josh moves up. Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, Riley Herbst, Rahal's buddy, and Daniel Hemrick.
I was waiting till you got to that to see if you could actually pronounce it with a straight face.
Herbst. I got it. But that's Rahal's buddy.
My name is Michele. I mean, I got no right to laugh at anybody, but I probably would change the last name a little bit.
Yeah, we'll tweak it or something.
Yeah.
All right. So today's race, the Coca-Cola 600, obviously the endurance race. We've been talking about it. They started today with Denny Hamlin on the pole, Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, William Byron, Austin Cindric, who's a name we haven't heard in quite some time. It's amazing.
That's true.
Bubba Wallace, 7th, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, and Michael McDowell round out your top 10. I want to make some notes here because at the back of the field, you have Kyle Larson and Brad Keselowski. And that should be pretty interesting to watch. Not so much Brad Keselowski, but Kyle Larson, because he's coming from the back and didn't
they have to change cars or something?
Well, they had to repair the hell out of that thing. So he didn't go to a backup car. They literally tore half behind the doors, basically, all the way back off and put a new body and shell back on. So pretty amazing what those guys did over the nighttime and got him back in. And now he's participating in this race. And he's, going to come from the back. We'll see how it all plays out today. But tonight, I should say, with this race going on now. But so that's, I think that's pretty much it with today's race. I'm trying to think if there was any news and rumors out there that were floating around. We talked about at the beginning.
Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen is going to make his first cup start with Trackhouse Racing at Watkins Glen. All of a sudden he gets a call and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I love to do it. I go to
Is this Kimi? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to race?
Yes.
I would love to.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he's a man of few words unless you get a few drinks in him. Then he turns into a gorilla suit.
Yeah, he's definitely a party animal.
Yeah,
but the Iceman cometh. He's coming to NASCAR.
And I bet he does quite well at the Glen and even in the heavy car like that.
Yeah, that's part of that Project 91, which is heading to Le Mans. They're going to race that Camaro out there. So I think that's setting all this up. And, Trackhouse, Justin Marks, the guy who owns that with Pitbull, he's
Red Bull.
No.
Pitbull.
Yeah, the singer. He's part owner in Trackhouse.
Okay, now I got it.
Yeah.
But isn't that a Dutch team, Trackhouse?
No. It's Justin Marks owns it. He's been in NASCAR. He's just he's doing like the STEM program stuff, and he's got some money behind it, but from some of these guys. But I got to tell you what he's doing right now. Granted, he did buy this equipment from Chip Ganassi, so he starts off better than
it's
most
not garbage,
teams.
that's for sure.
Correct. But this is a really good team, and they have a great opportunity with some of these international drivers that they would like to bring to the table, which I think is great. I love it.
Me too.
I love, the big story for me today was at Monaco. I really wanted to see Leclerc win that race because home guy, Ferrari's doing well. It's great for the sport, right? It would have been great. Move to Indy. I wasn't sure what I really wanted there, but once Pato O'Ward was up near the front, I thought, man, I really like to see that McLaren get to victory lane. Zach Brown was there. You knew this was very important to them. And I thought, okay, this is an opportunity for them to really shine and make a name for themselves. And they just couldn't pull it off, which I thought.
Well, all the F1 people were watching that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because he's earmarked, let's face it, to take Daniel Ricciardo's place. And I feel terrible for Ricciardo because he's such a great guy.
Oh, it's awesome.
And
awesome.
He basically said, when I'm done, I think I'm done. He'll be in America for probably most of the time. He loves it here.
Yeah.
Particularly loves Texas.
I was going to say, he is a big Texas boy.
He's a giant Texas fan.
He loves barbecue. He loves Texas. He loves the number 3. He was a big NASCAR fan. I mean, this guy, I could actually see him moving over into NASCAR because I really do think
that is a thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
it could happen.
He's loved this sport. He's got plenty of connections here. He could probably pull that off if he really.
The other thing about Monaco was, if you took a good look at it, what did George Russell do again? Whiny little bitch that he is, I think.
Don't
That's
hold
my
back.
opinion.
Don't hold back.
No, I'm not. But he's beaten Hamilton steadily. Everybody says, well, all the Hamilton fans are like, well, that's because, Lewis has never driven a car that was bad, and now he's got a bad one. Well, that's too bad. He's won 7 world championships, and he should be able to overcome what he's done.
Absolutely.
Russell has driven crap when that was the Williams, and now he's got what he considers a decent car, even though Lewis believes it's crap, and so does Toto Wolff. But Russell's just outperforming him. That has got to be working on him mentally. It really does.
Oh, I believe
I'd be surprised if truly, if they don't get that car really dead sorted out, because I think Mercedes is on that bubble as well, running into the budget cap. So there's going to be a point that they get to where they can't update it anymore. I got a feeling that Hamilton might retire. He's got too many other things going, too many other interests. He's an activist. All the Hollywood stars are friends of his. That's so, right. I think he's got a lot of other interests that he'd rather do. And that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Fine with me.
Well, I'm down with that too, because this is a guy, listen, he got 7 championships. Like you said, he's sitting there. George is doing a much better job at being the number 1 driver, if you will. Yeah, and I really do think
that Hamilton might have been a little pissed off that Alonso was in front of him, and there was no way Alonso was going to let Hamilton get by. No. And he didn't. I mean, that just had to, even though Hamilton says, no, it wasn't frustrating, no big deal. It's a big deal. Mentally, it works on somebody at that level. It works on you.
What I thought was neat in that race as well is they were saying, Alonso is making the car really wide and he's backing some people up. That man was saving some tires for the end of that
That's
run.
what he was doing. That's exactly what he was doing. He was, for 15 laps, he had to conserve and then blow it out for 15. That guy is incredible because he can call a race from the cockpit. He amazed Ferrari that he actually could call the strategy and make the guys on Ferrari's pit wall look bad. And Binotto said so, because Binotto's been with Ferrari for a long time.
All right. Well, hey, great stuff with the live show. We do appreciate it. And again, if you're watching, you could actually chat with us in the comment section. You could put a comment in there, and we would definitely see it here on the show. And we would bring that up and, talk to you and, interact with you guys, because that's what we built this show for. And that's what we really want to do. And that's
let's face it, it's Memorial Day. They're out there sucking the meat off of the pork buns. That's what they're doing. Let's not kid ourselves.
I know, man.
Punching
And if,
holes in the
hey,
beer can.
you know, the guy right now is on the couch. He's been watching Monaco, the Indy 500. He baked those the ribs, got them all, smoked them, got them all done. He's sitting on the couch
with
he's
a wife
passed out.
beater t-shirt on.
The beer's pouring out the side.
Drooling on himself.
Yeah. He knows I can get a good 3-hour nap in and then
Yeah.
watch the end of this race. It's going to be a good one.
And he's not lying.
No.
You can do that.
Yeah,
Take yourself a 2.5-hour nap, and the race is still going on.
that's right. All right, Michele, thank you so much. Another great show. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Michele Rahal. That's Michele, and Rahal, Rahal. And they're just one L. There aren't many of us there. I think there's only one other. I think he's a champion chess player in Spain. And you can find me on Instagram at Michele Rahal, number 9. That's Michele, Rahal, and the number 9.
Okay. And here's a comment. I just wanted to bring this up. Oh, yeah, it's Rob so handsome.
You are a legend in your own mind, bro.
I am. That is true. There's no doubt about that. You can ask anyone.
Reach behind you and grab that beer you got on the counter back there and just go ahead and slug it.
No beers, man. All right. You can find me at Rob D'Amico, ROBDAMICO. And don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We're on Twitter again live. Instagram, we can't do live yet with this program, but we're working on some stuff that we'll be able to. It's just not really going to match the format. So that's what we're kind of working on. So Instagram's kind of the lone wolf right now. But we will be live again, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So again, please interact with the show. Follow us on our website, racedaynation.com. For Michele Rahal, I'm Rob D'Amico. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.